Dear Mom, Mrs. Ryan is encouraging me to write this. She's very happy having me in her house, but she wants you to know that she insists I call her Mrs. Ryan or Ma'am. She said, "You only have one mother, Tony." Mrs. Ryan calls me Tony just like you used to do when I was little, but she wants me to spell it Tony. So around here, no one refers to me as Anthony. It's been almost a year since I had my 18th birthday and moved in here, and I am very happy. Mrs. Ryan and I have talked a lot about you and my father selling me to them. And I am not angry anymore about that. Through talking with Mrs. Ryan, I have come to realize that it was the best thing for everyone. Sure, I was angry at first and felt that you and my father didn't love me and wanted to get rid of me. But I really have gotten over those thoughts, and I hope you were able to put the money to good use. Now, Mr. Ryan wants me to call him Daddy, so that's why I refer to my father that way to keep both men separate. It's very easy to do because Mr. Ryan is very tall and handsome. I would use the words very big, too, but that's not proper talk, and Mrs. Ryan says that I need to always speak properly. Sometimes she jokes and refers to me as a lady when she uses those kinds of sayings, things like a lady is always proper. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like a big deal. It's just one of those sayings. The Ryans have done a lot to help me. They've taken me to a dentist and had all my teeth fixed so I have a very pretty smile. They've taken me to a lot of doctors who have helped me in many ways. I get several shots every month and take lots of vitamins. It's great to be this healthy. Mrs. Ryan says that I need to eat healthier foods and grow strong. I hope I'm not disappointing them because I really haven't grown any muscles. If anything, I have gotten thinner and maybe lost a lot of muscle along the way. But Daddy and Mrs. Ryan have assured me that I look very nice and they like the way I look. Sometimes Mrs. Ryan says I look pretty or even beautiful. But I have to tell you why she says that. Do you remember when I was really little you would dress me in dresses and braid my hair? You said it was just because I was small and so pretty. I remember you using the word pretty. And sometimes even when I grew older, you would sit me down at your dressing table and put makeup on my face and call me beautiful. Well, when I told Mrs. Ryan those stories, she insisted we try out the same thing. She sat me down at her dressing table and put makeup on my face. When Daddy saw it, he said I was beautiful. He used the words lovely and pretty, too. It made me feel loved like you used to make me feel. Occasionally, Daddy will ask me to go make myself beautiful and Mrs. Ryan and I will go off to the bedroom and we will spend hours in there until I am beautiful for Daddy. My father would always yell at you and me when he found me made pretty by you. He would get all upset and throw things around and scare me. Daddy is much too nice and never yells or screams at Mrs. Ryan or me. After a year with the Ryans, I am much healthier. My body is firm and I have a much nicer smile. But I do have to share a secret with you. The Ryans even took me to a doctor that performed operations on me to make me look even nicer. The first time I went to this doctor, I didn't come home for 3 days. I had to stay in his clinic to recuperate. And even when I came home, I was all bruised and swollen for weeks. I had what they call facial reconstruction surgery. The doctor made my face much nicer. I got a newly shaped nose that is not crooked or bumpy. It's nice looking like Mrs. Ryan's nose and your nose. I also had something done to my forehead that makes my hairline look nicer too. And my eyes look bigger now because of that. My cheeks and my chin look nicer too. They almost look pretty like the pictures in the magazines that Mrs. Ryan gets. My neck even looks longer and smoother. They did something there when they made my voice sound nicer. I did have to let my hair grow longer all around because I have bangs now to keep the surgical scar in my hairline hidden. The doctor says that will heal and will be almost invisible in a while, but combing my hair forward makes it look fine now. And since I have bangs now, Mrs. Ryan says I need to let my hair get longer so it all matches. She speed up the hair growing process by getting me hair extensions. They look so real. And they are long enough to tie them up in a ponytail when I am doing my chores. Daddy likes that look, too. My chores are cooking and cleaning. Daddy even got me a special uniform to wear when I am working. It is a cute outfit. But, speaking of outfits, Mrs. Ryan went out and bought me all sorts of nice clothes. Some of them are the kinds you would dress me in when you wanted me to look pretty. It's funny. When Mrs. Ryan dresses me that way, it reminds me of all the nice times we had together. The times before my father would walk in and yell at us. So whenever Daddy tells Mrs. Ryan to make me pretty, I get a very warm, loving feeling in my tummy remembering you and all the love you shared with me. But, I feel very loved here. Mrs. Ryan has taught me lots of ways to show my love. We will sometimes play house and go back inside the bedroom and close the door. Mrs. Ryan will dress me up pretty and then we will both get in bed together and she shows me lots of things that make her happy. She tells me that she loves those times and I have to agree. When I had healed from that first surgery, the Ryans took me into the same doctor for a different kind of surgery. This next surgery helped me to fit in my pretty clothes better. A lot of times when Mrs. Ryan would buy me pretty clothes, they wouldn't fit very well. So Daddy suggested that I get a fuller figure. Well, I didn't know what that meant, but when I came home all my pretty clothes fit much better. It made the Ryans very happy. Ever since then, I wear a lot more pretty clothes and both Mrs. Ryan and Daddy seem pleased. Wearing those clothes remind me of you. And the strange thing is that when I look in the mirror, I see a lot more of you than my father. But I think that's good. I always believed you loved me more anyway. I have learned to do my own makeup and my own hair now. Whenever I do that I think of you, too. I really do love you more and more, Mommy. I really have the Ryans to thank and I really try hard to thank them every chance I get. All the times that Mrs. Ryan and I spend together locked in the bedroom, having tea and talking, is so much fun. She had told me a lot of her personal favorite things that made her happy and I tried to make her happy all the time. In that first surgery when they did my face, I couldn't understand why they made my lips puffier and pretty. Of course, when I apply lipstick they do look excellent, but it also makes me better able to make Mrs. Ryan happier too. Daddy even likes my lips. He tells me they are sucker lips or something like that. I think a sucker is another name for a lollipop. Mrs. Ryan told me lots of things that I can do to make Daddy happy, too. At first Mrs. Ryan had to tell me step by step how to make Daddy happy, but now I can do it all on my own now, which makes me very proud. Sometimes when I am working hard to make the Ryans happy, I feel very good myself. It's really hard to describe, but I think it's like when you are helping someone you love, you are getting love in return. I'm getting ready to celebrate my 19th birthday and that's why I decided to write. It's been a great year and I hope with the money you got for selling me that it's been a great year for you, too. I only hope that you and my father are as happy as I am. Love, Tony P.S. If you want another letter from me, just let me know.